Thank you for watching. Today I'm going to be doing a 3-string necklace, 3-layer necklace. So if y'all like to watch, I'm going to start out here and I'll show you some of my items that we'll be using today. Yeah, I already have them all laid out here. I already have my tiger tail wire cut. I have 3 different sizes. I have a 12-inch, I have 11-inch, and I have a 10-inch that we will be using today. I've always been taught to have it at least a 1/2 inch to 1 inch away, and I find that having mine about 1 inch in between layers seems to work better for me. I'm not sure if that's true for everybody, but in my experience, that's what's the best. So I've got 3 wires here. As you can see, they're all different lengths. We will be starting with the 12-inch, which is a little longer than 12. It is about 14 because you have to give yourself room at the end to finish off so you can attach, something else, your next layer to it. So we're going to go right in order here. I have right here, I have some little clamshells that we will be using to tie it off. I have some number 2 crimp tubes that we will be using. They're so tiny, I don't know if you can see them, and it just fell off my hand. So here we go. So we have that, and we're going to do, it will be like peach colors and light pink and springy colors, a couple bright oranges. I have a little bell here. It's a pinch bell that I will be using for this pendant. It is kind of little on the pink side here, but I feel like it goes very well with these. So we're going to have a few different, 3 different colors going on in here, different tones of the same color pretty much. I've got these really nice gold spacer beads that I'm going to use with my lampwork beads. So I have those. So let's get this organized here, and I can tell you what they are and what we will be using today. So first of all, and I haven't opened them yet, but these are 3mm Chex fire polished faceted round beads in a pale pink opal. So I'm not sure. I do have them out here. So I have them on the list because, with this being said, when I design something, I have a book that I keep record of. And in that book, I put everything I used in the necklace, the earrings, the bracelet, whatever it may be. I have completely list every single item, what it is, where my distributor is that I used for it. So I keep good track of it that way. And next we have some of these beautiful, let me find them. These are really cute. We have these little faceted bicones if I quit dropping them. So we're going to be using some of these today. They are 4mm. So we have those. And next up, we will be using some 4 by 3.5 rondelles. These are some little rondelles in peach. So we will be putting those into the necklace also. So we have that, and then we have, whoops, so I'm dropping them. I'm going to be lucky to have anything left. And then we have 4mm by 3.2 glass rondelles in the matte peach sherbet. And I drop them on the floor again, and I have to go hunting them down. I have these little teardrops listed too. They are Chex glass, press glass, and they are 6 by 4mm. Not sure either if I'm going to be using those, but they're crystal with a peach and pink opal coat on them. So I have those there too. I haven't opened them for the reason I'm not sure yet. And then we have the lamp work beads right here. And these are one of a kind. They're hand painted. Each one of them will be a little bit different in the design because they are hand painted. So we have those. And then we have these crystal 6mm bicones in tangerine. Aren't they pretty? Look at the color on that. So we have those we will be incorporating in them. And then we also have these tulip beads. And once again, I'm unsure whether I will incorporate them because I design on the fly. So we have those, which I think will go really well, you know, with the pendant. So we probably will be bringing some of those in. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of these out. My little trays are kind of full right now, but this is how I try to keep organized. So I'm got little trays separated on other projects that I've been getting ready to start that I already have set aside. So they're going to be a little full. And then I also have the set. It's got just round ones, hearts, stars, like little donuts, little balls and stuff. So I might incorporate some of this gold into it as well. We just have to see as we go along. So all of my tools, I'm going to turn you around right here. Here's all my tools. And I just have a variety of them. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to be using yet. So, whoops, I'm so sorry about that. Not sure which ones I'll be using yet, but they are just right there. So, first of all, we are going to attach this bell right here. We're going to attach this bell, this pinch bell, onto this. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to get my needle nose. I'm going to spread these out just a little bit, not much, just a tiny bit. I'm going to spread that out like that and really gentle with it. Then I want to put in, looks like we're going to have to go a little wider yet. So let me get my other ones. It's a little tougher to clasp onto. So let's open him up just a little bit more. We don't want to damage it or anything. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing here, but I'm opening this pinch bell up here so it's wide enough to go into my pendant. So the pendant is right here. So we're going to hook this little pinch bell into one side, and looks like we still need to open it a little bit wider. So I'm really praying this pinch bell works because I really like this one. Let's get him open just a little bit more, and hopefully we can make this work. We're going to try anyway. Try our best to get him in there. Of course, then we have to pinch him back together. So let's get a hold of him. Try to get this in the best I can where I'm putting it in on this side. And then I have the other hole on this side over here, which is going to line this up. I might have got it too wide that time. It's kind of hard to determine the exact length, but you know, practice makes perfect. So we got this little pinch bell, and I got it in there, if you can see this. So now I'm going to try to pinch this together and hope that it will work. We're going to try it anyway. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Got a lot of tools here. So let's try to pinch him in there and see if he's going to hold for us in this. So it's really cute, and I really love it. And if not, we'll be going back to the drawing board. And I'm not sure where I'll go from there because I'm not sure what I want to use. So gonna try to figure it out. All else goes, we'll have to just do wire wrap or something like that, you know, on it. So just try to get this to work in here and to stay in there without breaking our crystal or anything. So I think he might hold. May have to go back. I think I want to go ahead and put a little glue in here, a little bit of jewelry glue. I'm going to go ahead and get my jewelry glue out. This is just, it's called Alina's. It's jewelry and metal glue. So this is mainly what I use all the time. I know I used to use a lot of E6000, and I'm just going to put a tad right down in there. I just want a drop, and I got too much on there. So let's get that off. Let's get this glued in here really quick. You just have to hold it for a few seconds, and then we'll get that glue wiped off of there. I mean, it's going to be for me, but still, I still want people to see, you know, how well my jewelry is. This stuff, though, you want to make sure you don't get it stuck between your fingers, because let me tell you, I did it, and it's hard to get off of there. Really hard, and my fingers were stuck together. So we're going to put just a little bit of glue, and we're going to go ahead and try to, I think we're going to go ahead and use, these are for wire straightening if you're using your wire. So, but they have the little silicone padding stuff in there, and I use these a lot because that way it doesn't leave marks on anything that I have to squeeze together. So, give this a little squeeze here. I think we got it set in there now. Looks pretty good. Looks like it's gonna hold. So we're gonna put this aside right here. And here, let me show you. It's in there. Really good. And we are going to lay this aside and let that little bit of glue drop on there, because we don't want to, we don't want to break that crystal, and we definitely don't want it falling apart. So let's get this cleaned back up. Here's my glue. Let's get it put back together. And yes, folks, I do use a little bit of glue on my jewelry because I want my stuff to stay secure. I use just the tiniest bit, but I do want it to stay very secure at all times. So I do my best, that I can with that. Now I'm going to get out my two favorite little tools that I always use. I have my needle nose pliers, and then I have these little curved pliers. These are my two favorite that I use when I'm doing jump rings or, anything else. Speaking of jump rings, I did forget to tell you, I have my variety of jump rings here. I always buy my stuff in bulk when I can. It's a lot better. Plus, I get the different sizes, so that helps me a lot. I don't have to have a lot of packages laying around. I'm still new, still working on my craft room. I don't have shelving up or anything yet. I do to the left of me, that is all sublimation and shirts and everything like that. I did that for a long time. I still do it occasionally, but it's not my favorite anymore. But I do vinyl and stuff still, if somebody needs something or wants something. So we are going to find our longest piece again. I'm going to make sure we're going to measure it. We can actually just put them all together, I guess. And we're going to get out that longest piece that we have, which is right here. So we got our longest piece. We're going to lay those two aside. And we're going to remeasure to make sure we have enough. So I've got 12 inches right there. And then I've got another, about a 2 1/4 inch to be able to, put on my clamshells and everything at the end. So folks, I design on the fly, so I'm just going to start. I do know what I want my center to look like. So one end, I'm going to go ahead, I got my little bead bugs here. So I'm going to go ahead and strap off one end for right now. And so I don't want everything falling. So we are going to start out with these gold spacer beads. and they are just adorable. So we got that, and I want to put a little bit of different color in here. So I think I want to go with these rondelles that are the glass peach rondelles, and then we want to go with this, another glass peach rondelle. Then we're going to go with another spacer, and we're going to see how that looks, because this is going to be our focal point here. And I like it, but I think I like it without the little glass in between. So let's take that out and redo it, because we're going to have to, the pendant dries just a little bit. I'm going to put that pendant on as well. So let's try this and see if we like that. So, because we'll have them both on each side of the pendants. Oh yeah, I really like that. What do y'all think? You like that? I really am liking that one. So then we will go ahead with a couple smaller ones, and we'll do a couple different colors here. Some triangles, and just a few different things. Like I would have been taught, you do most of your beads in like 3 or 5. So that's what I plan on doing. So this first one, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be using this. We're gonna go ahead and slide on our pendant. I don't think we have to have a jump ring, but we're soon gonna find out. Depends on how it lays. And yes, look at that. It's not hanging the right way, so we need to put a jump ring on. So let's pull him back out. I don't want a really big jump ring. I just want one that's small enough that I can hang him on there with, because I don't want him to hang down a lot. So right here, I got a little 5mm. This is where my favorite tools come in. So I'll take this jump ring and I'll pick it up here. I'm going to look for my opening, because it splits open there. And I'm going to grab it on one side with those. And I just built those again. And then I will be grabbing it. And you always, when you're doing this jump rings, you never want to open them this way. You want to go this way. So let's pray that this is big enough so I don't have to have, a giant one. If I could get by with a smaller one, I would definitely like to do that. And you know what? We are going to try that really quick. I do have like I've got a size 3mm, but we'll see what happens with it. It may not be quite right, but we're going to see. So how's everybody doing this afternoon? I'm going to record this, but I don't know that I'm going to get it all done. So before I have to start my husband's dinner, because he works so hard all day, and want to make sure when he gets home, his dinner's ready for him. That's just one of my things I like to do. Sometimes he's late, sometimes he's not. So I just usually don't know. Let's get this cleaned back up real quick, because I got these little triangles going everywhere, and they're just the cutest little things. So I hope you all had a good weekend. We had a little bit of rain here in Alabama on Sunday. It's kind of got a cooler day, but it was all right. So let's go ahead and let's slide our pendant back on there and see how this does. So I have that little jump ring on there. If it cooperates, I'm going to slide it on through. There we go. And let's see how he hangs now. Well, he still doesn't seem to be hanging right, does he? All right, we got to figure this out. What is going on with why is he not hanging right? Oh, there he goes. There he goes. I was going to say, with that jump ring, it should have hung right. And then once we get more beads on there, that's going to tighten that up. So it's going to hang in place a lot better. Because it's just kind of squirrely right now. It's just wanting to move around everywhere on this bell. So we're gonna, once we get some more beads on there, it will tighten up, from the pressure of the other beads going against it. So we're working on that right now. Get that a little straight as we can. So here we go. Can y'all see what I'm doing here? Then we're going to come in just like we did on the other one, but we're going to be the opposite, okay? So we started with this little glass bead. We will be doing that. And then we will do the triangle. Well, maybe. Hard to see sometimes. Even though, jewelry making is sometimes hard on your eyes. You have to, a lot of tedious little things. So we are going to do this, and then we're going back with the crystal here. Another crystal, and then we'll go ahead and we're going to put the spacer bead on. And then we're going to put another lampwork bead on and another spacer bead. I have some bead caps out here, but I'm not sure I'm going to use them. I want it to look nice, but I'm not sure if I want to use that. So here it is. And I love it. I just absolutely love it. So let's go ahead and let's figure out what we want to finish this first strand out with. Just on the fly. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Well, actually, I think I'm just going to work from one side today. Let's go ahead and let's go with this orange bicone here. See how that looks? Oh yeah, that's really gonna set good. And then we're gonna go ahead with the lighter color. We're gonna go back with a little bit darker one. I don't want this to have a lot of emphasis on this layer here because this is going to be our center point. And I do have these little caps, but I'm thinking they're really too big. So let's go into this little box here and let's see what we got in here. Do we want some little stars or no? I think we're just going to go with I don't know if we like these or not. I just, like I said, trial and error. Put it on. I don't like it. But we'll take it off. And I don't know if I like the coin beads. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm liking those coin beads. I think they just don't fit with this. So let's take that coin bead off. Let's we don't want hearts or stars, so let's just try to go with something simple. We got this little, I call them nuggets. I don't know what they really are. They're just these little gold little things. Can you see them? They're just like a little nut or something, but I call them nuggets. So I'm going to put a nugget on there, and we'll go from that nugget and see what we think. So lay this down and look at it here. Oh yeah, I think I really like that nugget really well. So I think that's going to be our pattern. So we're going to go back with the crystal bicone. Then we're going to go with the matte peach. And then we're going to go with the other peach. Yeah, I think I'm really going to like that. Really going to like it. And I'm not going to go really far with it because I don't want a whole lot on this first row. So let's go ahead and do this pattern a couple more times. And I would like to save, some of my bicones for later as well up in there. So but now that I'm looking at this, you know what? I'm not sure I like those two colors together. I guess they're okay. I mean, could put the triangles in, but I really planned on using the triangles on a different spot. So let's go ahead and do this. See how many rows we got here. We have 1 set, 2 sets, 3. So we'll do 2 more sets like this. And that'll finish off this side. I'm going to just keep on stringing. If y'all have any questions or anything like that, you can leave me a comment and I will reply back to you. Everything I have here is from Bargain Bead Box. It's from my Easter egg hunt package that I just got. So that's where everything's from, with the exception of what I have in this box that is from Amazon. And but everything else I have. Oh, also my little number 2 crimp tubes, they are from Amazon. Everything else is Beadbox Bargain. I want to clarify that. So I want to give credit where credit is due, because they have such beautiful stuff. So let's go ahead and finish this last one off here. And then we'll use the big bug and we'll clamp him off. Make sure we have 5 sets here. That's what I want to end up with, is the 5 sets. Because like I said, I like to do mine either 3, 5, you know, whatever. So let's count how many sets we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exactly. So let's go ahead and let's switch this bead bug over here to this side. And then we'll, once we get that all done, we'll see where we're at. And we think, I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the colors. So let's get this other side done. And we will be going from there. And like I said, we're going to do the same as we did over here. So we'll start with our bicone. It's a tangerine color. Oops. Tangerine bicone. So we'll start with that. We will go to the matte. And then we will go to the faceted. So, okay. And then we will get the gold. Let's grab a couple of these gold ones out so I don't have to keep getting in there. We'll go ahead and we'll bead this on, string it on. Okay. And then we're going to do 5 sets over here, just like we did on the other side. And sometime, now I'm going to have to check and double check, because, you know, I want to, when I talk, just learning especially, I don't want to mess up my pattern. So I want to make sure my pattern's correct all the way up. And I really love doing this. It's very relaxing. I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge. Sometimes I have to tear things apart. Sometimes I have to put them back together. But, you know, it's just part of it. Because I've designed a whole necklace before, and then I was like, I don't like it at all. So I've cut the wire and started over again. And it happens, you know, you have something in your head, how you want it to look, and it doesn't always turn out the exact way you want it to look. So it happens, folks. It really does happen. And it's just part of being an artisan, you know, where you want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 1 more over here. Then we'll decide what we're going to do next. And see where we're going to go. Not sure if I want to bring this together in the middle. I'm just not sure what I want to do yet. So we're going to take a look at it. Because like I said, I design on the fly. I don't have plans wrote down. I just go and try to do what I like. But we want to try to make sure these are even before we decide anything. Oh, that's what happens when you don't. Better bead bug that in, just in case. Because I've dropped it many times and beads have fell off and I've had to go digging on the floor for them and finding them. Especially when they're low and I don't have many of, that one kind. So let's get this out and let's see what we got here. So far, I got to fix that clamp or that down there, but we'll do that here in a minute. I'm not too worried about that right now because I will fix that. So we'll get him fixed in there. But yeah, I think it's really going to be cute. I really do. I think I'm really going to like it. So now I decide where I want to go from here. Do I want to go ahead and, finish this up more? Or what I may have to put a bigger ring in there, I think is what the problem is. I think this ring is just a little too little. I wanted it to be tight, but I don't think it's going to stay tight on there. See if we can manipulate it a little bit here. Sometimes that's what you have to do, but sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So let's see what we can do on without having to go any bigger, because I really don't want to have to show a big jump ring on here. I'm trying to get it in the middle where it will stay. But if it doesn't work, we're going to have to readjust and go to a bigger one. So just trial and error, trial and error. And it doesn't look like it wants to work. Well, we're going to see. See what we got? What do y'all think? It's not even. It's not done. What do y'all think? It's a lot better now. So let me know your opinion. And I'm trying to decide if I want to finish this just all the way with like these tiny little beads that I have here or something, because I just offset it a little bit, as it's coming up. Gee, I just really don't know. I think we might as well go ahead and finish up with the bite cones as far as we can. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead with the pattern we already had. So let's get this off and let's start back on this pattern we had. Let's get some more of those little nuggets out of here. I don't know how many we'll need, but we can always put them back. So let's get some of those nuggets out. We're going to start with our bicone again. Then we're going to go with the matte peach. Then we got the shiny peach. Okay, then we've got the little nugget. Okay, we might end up with 7, might be enough, where we can, I'll measure it out and see where we're at then. See the length that we have. Because like I said, I have them measured off. The first one will be 12 inches. And then 11 and then 10. But I do leave extra on each side. So that should be 7 there. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so let's go ahead and clamp him off. Let's finish the other side over there. Make sure all of our beads are down. Okay, here we go. We're going to finish up this side. And we go in with the matte peach. Then we're going with the shiny. And then the gold nugget. Okay, back to the tangerine bicone. And if I can put him on there. So we have that. Keep dropping him. Just, when it gets towards the end of the day, people start getting tired. So, like I said, I might not finish all this video. I might have to come back to it tomorrow and finish it up with y'all. But we'll do what we can do. I just have to keep an eye on the time. So we're getting close here on this one. We're going to measure it here in a minute. Make sure we're all set here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we have the 7. So let's go ahead and see what our length is here. I don't know if we're going to quite make 12. No, we still need a little more. So I don't really want to do another set because I like mine 5, 7, or 9, you know. So let's go ahead and throw on a couple of these little beads here. And these teeny tiny little ones here. And go from there. And they are crystals. So we have those two. Find my scissors here. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to get a few of these out. And we're going to finish up just a little bit. Just put, you know, probably like 5 on or something each side to finish up. We don't want to go overboard. We got to have room to do this. And I try to pick mine up with my wire when I can. It's a lot easier than having to, sometimes a lot easier than, you know, trying to put these small ones on. So just have to work it out. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it is, you know, it just depends. So we got 3. All right, this should, with these 5 added, we should really have the length that we want. And we want to have the room at the end so we can do our crimp tube and our clamshell. So we're going to do that, and we're going to get these 5 on this end, and we're going to measure this and, you know, see where we're at. And it will either be 5 or 7. So we've got 5 here. If we had to add a couple more on the end to get the length where we want it, then that's okay too. We'll do that. So, so is there anybody out here that's like new, just learning, just starting out? So we have 2, 5. Okay, let's get this measured and see where we're at right now. So, oh yes, we are good. Just right at 12 inches. Perfect. What do you think? Here it is. It's at 12 inches. So now, let me go ahead and put these baby beads, well, put these baby's beads back before I spill them, because they don't have anything that, they're not in a sealed little bag where I can close them up. Which actually, I think I have some extra sealed ones. So let's go ahead and get these picked up. And let me get my little tool out here because they're kind of hard to get in there. So let's go ahead and get these scooped up here. This little tool, I just love it. It's so much easier. And let's go ahead and find a bag over here, that an extra bag that I can go ahead and the Ziploc. That way they're not going to spill out. But I do want to keep them in this bag because of the number. So I want to keep them in there. I just don't want them to spill. Okay. So it doesn't really matter which side you start on. So I got my clamshell here. I'm going to open this up just a little bit here. I don't need to open it too much on this end because I'll be able to see. You see I put that clamshell on there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get a hold of it. Going to go ahead and get my crimp tube put on. Now, I'm just not having too much luck today, am I? Crimp tube, they just don't want to cooperate. Okay, so got my crimp tube here. On this end, now I don't need to worry so much because I'm going to put it right at the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to clamp this tube. I'm going to get my crimpers out. And I'm going to, here's how I'm going to do it. Can you see on there where there's the second one there? We're going to start with that one, and where it's kind of got the teeth in there, then we're going to go up to the top one when we're finished. So we're going to go ahead and clamp this down on the second. We're going to start on the second one and give it a good squeeze. Make sure it's clamped down. Now sometimes these don't want to work too good on my wires, so sometimes I have to do a little manipulate them to them. So we're just going to see if this one's going to hold, because we definitely want it to hold. So we're going to see how it goes. Okay, and there is our crimp tube on. Now we're going to make sure it's secure. Looks secure, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to bring up our clamshell here. Well, these are my cutters. I want to flush cut this little piece of wire that's sticking out, so I want to flush cut that off. Now I do put a dab of glue in mine because I want it to be secure. I know some people do, some people don't. I like the extra security, and it seems like my glue's coming out really fast today. I don't know if it's a little warmer in here today or what, but it's I'm gonna have to fix that because we got too much glue coming out, and I don't want that much glue, and I don't want my fingers stuck to it either, because like I said, it is so hard. And I always use these little plastic bags that I have extra because it doesn't stick. But yeah, it's like really coming out, so I just want to put a little drop in there. That's all I want to do, just a little bitty drop of glue. Just added security, and it just got on my finger. So let's hope my finger don't glue together, because it is no fun trying to get it done. So I got that little dot of glue, and we're going to push it up here. Goodness. I usually don't have this problem, but I guess maybe because I'm trying to do it on a video. So we're going to take that clamshell, and we're going to push it up with our fingers and try to get this as even as we can. And squeeze that together. Then I'm going to take my little needle nose pliers here. Try to get this little hole lined out the best I can, because the better it's lined up, the easier it is when you go to put your jump ring to attach it. So we have that. Looks pretty good. I always like to take my nylon straighteners and give a little squeeze in the middle to ensure that it's closed all the way. And this way, my nylon cutters, I'm in problem with, they don't leave marks. They don't, if you do it easy enough, they won't leave a dent in it either. So it'll look more professional, you know, that way. Okay, so we have that side done. And here's what we have. It's all finished there. Our crimp tube's on. Now we're going to go to this side, which this side's going to be a little different. So, because we're going to need to make sure where we're at, you know, on it. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to flatten this clamshell all the way down. Can you see that? I'm going to flatten that clamshell all the way down, because you'll here in a minute I will show you why, and it's so much easier. So there we go. Let's get our crimp tube on there. Okay, we've got our crimp tube down in there. It's easier for me to get a hold of it. Now, you always want to make sure you have a little bit of play. You want it tight, you know, you want it to be tight, but not overly tight. So I always just take mine and, can y'all see this? I wrap these down in circles and make sure that I can get them, you know, where they're pretty tight. So let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. Maybe you can see better there. I'm not sure. Try to keep my hands out of the way the best I can. So with this one, I have this little circle here. I'm going to go ahead and grab a head, that crimp tube right there, and I'm going to kind of pull my string up so it's tight. And then I'm going to just squeeze it. Give it some squeezes, make sure it's tight, but not to break it. And since this is coiled, it's not going to be overly tight. It's just, it's really hard. I mean, I know a lot of people do get down in there with their crimpers, but I've not been able to really do that yet. You know, I mean, I can try it right now, but yeah, I can't ever get down in there enough. It's going to be covered up, so you're not really going to see it. And we're going to, you know, let's go ahead and let's get this tail off of here. We're going to flush cut that down. I always try to hold on to mine because they will fly. So when they want to cut. I just bought these new cutters and don't know why they are not cutting very well. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our glue back out and help pray my fingers don't stick. So we're going to put that little dot of glue in there. So when we bring that clamshell together, it's going to just give it a little bit of added security. So here we are. We got the glue in there. We're going to, I like to turn mine where it's going, you can kind of, if you can see in there, how that crimp tube is wider one way or the other. I like to turn mine so it's going along with the wide angle. That way, I just find it easier. I just find it a lot easier that way to seal it up. My opinion, everybody's different. Every artist is different. We all do everything different ways. So let's get this in there and let's straighten this out a little bit because it's not very healthy looking right there. So let's get this straightened out. Try to get these lined up as much as possible. So when we go to put in our jump rings, they won't, you know, they won't be hard to get in there. So if you don't have those holes pretty much lined up on the top, it's going to be hard to get that jump ring through. Sometimes I have to manipulate it a little bit, you know, bring it up. You know, one side doesn't quite come in, or the other side does. Oops. So, put those back. I like to put my tools back as I'm using them, you know, so that way they're all out of the way and, you know, I know what I'm going to use, what I got out, and it's just easier for it not to be cluttered. So we have this. See, sometimes I just have to manipulate it. All right. Now, we have officially done our first strand. And here it is. So, I hope you all are seeing this pretty well because, like I said, it's my first time. Well, I made a video earlier, but so this is what we have. Is our first one. So we're going to lay this aside so we can start working on the next one and see where we're at from there. I'm not sure what time it is. Bear with me and I'll be right back.